And I'm live. I think I have one subscriber, and it's very late, so I talk very quietly. And I think that one subscriber might be myself. um, my last video that I made was 1 year and 4 days ago, and it was a pinnacle of my personal work in terms of like how much I revealed myself. And so I started off with blogging, and then I went into audio, very quickly got into video, and then I decided in my second to last video, if you go back, it's called Manipulation Something and Moving. I talk about how going live would be the next step. It would be the next pinnacle, because it's not like a recording where I can just retake the video. And going live, there's really no editing involved. Someone here? I think it's just myself again. No, two people are here. Who's here? Who the heck is watching my stream? Who are you? Wait, say hello. I wonder if that's Nicole. Oh, they're gone. That's very strange. I don't know how anyone could possibly find my stream. Okay, sorry. Anyways, um, in the last one of the last videos, I said that this would be like the next step, right? This would be live. People could come and be able to, edit out anything, and that was ultimately where I wanted to be. Is just as raw as possible. Um, and in the last video, I talked about how there's a transition period. It was very what's the terminology for it? There was a it was a pivotal moment in the sense that there were so many roads and so many paths that I could have taken, but it was really a crossroads. There's only like two main events, and that was either I'm going to go home or I'm going to stay in the city. What I ended up deciding was staying in the city. However, the key piece was to work on my own stuff and go and follow my heart. And following my heart, I ended up applying for Solana. And in the last video, I said that within a couple of minutes or within an hour, I'll be on the phone with Ure Jacobin, um, who ended up being a blip in the existence of Solana and my reality as well. And I saw it at that point as just like the next thing, right? It was like, wow, I'm actually doing it. And truth be told, it was really significant. Even though me talking to him, he didn't actually end up helping. Oh, I got the job. I ended up working for Solana. Didn't move to Malaysia like I talked about because of COVID. But I got the job. And yeah, lots to say on that. But anyways, the main point that I wanted to talk about was the pattern that I was like seeing into, which was, following. Oh, I have an art piece. So this art piece I created the other day, and I closed my eyes and I envisioned something, and I saw like a silver claw, like that kind of, with like green. And I should have envisioned more because it doesn't look like what I had in mind, and it was only like a really small vision. And what I created is like pretty dark. I like darkness theme, not darkness of evil. Um, but the thematic of it, so I'll show you here. Kind of looks like a portal of some sort. You can't really see it, but like the red is pretty blood colored. The paint that I mixed was like it looked like blood. Where was I going with that? So I was talking about the running away pattern, da 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 da, and running away from like what I feel called to do. And I talked about how I could be moving to my hometown or Malaysia. And I tied that with working with Solvana. What ended up happening was I worked remotely for Solvana before I was going to move, but then COVID happened. And so I ended up working and still am right now in the lines of spirituality. Now, my work before was spiritual in the sense that I'm existing. Who I am is a spiritual worker. Um, but you couldn't really label a specialist agent in real estate tech as being spiritual. I see it as being spiritual. So I see all of life as being spiritual, but it wasn't quote unquote a spiritual job. So I didn't like feel, you know, fulfilled in that sense. And I thought Silvana would fulfill that. And what ended up happening was I became an assistant to, I don't know if I actually am not going to disclose that information because I haven't asked for permission. But I became a personal assistant to two people who are very spiritual. And I ended up moving to Hawaii, which I am now at, and I ended up being able to work remotely. So I did a huge upgrade in the field of work, in being able to work anywhere. And still after 1 year and watching what I just did, the pattern that I was actually talking about is here again, and it's in a new cycle. And the what's been revealed is something that just more light has been shed on it, which is to continue with these videos and or work from myself. What I mean by that, in my last video, I said, yeah, and if I work for Solana, I'll be working for myself. And if I do this, I'll also be working for myself. And I'm going to be continuing these videos. That was the last video that I had, and that was 1 year and 4 days ago. So what ended up happening was I got distracted in a way with Solana. Now it's all perfect and grand. Um, I'm in Hawaii, but I am now in transition. So I'm not working for Solana anymore because I decided to work fully for this other person who's connected with Solana. She's an author for Solana, and funny enough, the CEO is actually transitioning out, and the person who got me the job is also transitioning out right now, like for them too. And this entire time that I've been working, like, in the spiritual realm, thinking and be like, that's my calling. It still wasn't like that core piece that I was actually talking about in that last video. The last video that I had, it was really talking about working for myself. And I mentioned it, but then I completely like lost focus on it, you know? And that is the running away piece. That's what I'm running from. Environmentally speaking, that's uh, the moving in my mind when I think about moving, because I literally just the other day thought about going back home, which is exactly what I just talked about in the last video. I'm at that point again in this pattern. Because if I go back home, then I'll be able to be with family. It's a little bit different with COVID, but really, it's the it's the running away from doing what I can be doing right now, and that is this. That is this creation talking to you guys, who in I think the second to last video I said, oh, I will probably have like thousands of viewers going back to this types of videos where it's older content. The video quality is not that great, and this isn't that great either. It's my laptop, um, and I know I'm right still, but I immediately stopped that. I stopped doing what started actually that forward movement to the next step, which was getting into Solana. I realized the key piece of, okay, don't run away, chase after what you want. And what I wanted to do is work along my own path, which was spiritual. So I went after Solana. And what happened because I did that was I was able to work remotely. So I ended up going back home because I was able to. And I also left right when COVID hit. So it was perfect time. Um, it was still a little bit of a running away factor. And in the beginning, I thought like when I would go back home, I'd be more nurtured to be able to do my own thing. When I went back home, when I was working remotely, oh man, it was like everything went like downhill in a way. I had so much fun, but I drank so much, and I like stopped caring for myself, and it was just like you know not that great. In the sense of like me working for myself. I didn't even have that many hours. I had like 15 hours a week, and I spent not even that much time on my remote work. I just spent it all dilly dallying around with family and friends, and that's totally cool. But coming back to where I'm at now, um, I'm going to be a presenter in this big event, and it's going to be like my launch, so to speak, where it's called Awakening Memorial, and I'm going to be talking about the synchronicities of reaching out to people, which I'll just talk about like in my last video. Actually, I'll talk about um, that'd be pretty cool if I could take part of that video from 1 year ago and plug it in to the presentation and then talk about that exact moment and this moment now too. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I won't. Um, what was I going with that? So right now I'm at a place where I'm like, I want to go home and be with family, but like deep down, I know I shouldn't, because it's that running away thing. Because I tell myself if I go back home, I will be able to stay at a place that doesn't require rent, so I have more time and energy to put into the things that are important, which is doing my own things. I'm writing a book. I'm thinking about doing meditations. This sharing is very important. When I watched my last videos, I was super impressed. I literally, I was like, it's pretty late. It's like 11. I'm really tired. And so I was just like, I was curled up. And I was like in love with what I created a year ago, almost like to the day. And I was like, wow, like this guy has energy, he knows what he's talking about. And I predicted exactly what, I didn't predict COVID, but I predicted exactly what he was going to do. I was like, wow, that's very impressive, you know. And that's what happens when I watch these videos and I look at my content. I'm like, that's pretty good. I like that. Um, Going back to this like, core pattern, like what do I really like? What am I really running away from? And I mean, the answer is pretty obvious. It's myself. If I'm not the one creating, then I'm avoiding myself being, expanding. Um, so right now I'm in Hawaii, and I'm living in a place that requires about like 10 hours in work trade a week and 20 hours in remote work for the person who I no longer I lived with this person. Um, I'll say her first name because I think that's safe to do. And everything about the situation was positive. So Aria, I lived with Aria and her son for about like 3 months, and we like moved around. We like literally moved. I moved with them. It was so cool. I got here after being virtual assistant. I became super personal assistant, and it's been very magical, very magical. And so I'm transitioning from being her assistant, but I'm also not at the same time. So basically, the energy is flowing in that direction. Um, and I can sense that same resistance of like, I just want to not do my own thing. I just don't want to like, I just don't want to do it. And it's, I think it's something. Oh, God, I want to take. No, no, sorry. Not take. It's all fuzzy. I think that not wanting to do, you know, one's own thing is pretty universal. Um, well, not universal, but like creating from within, like creating like original content, which I mean, any content's original basically, but like creating your stuff, for example, is so worth it on so many levels. But if you look at the majority of people who are in 9 to 5s or are doing stuff that they don't want to be doing. And I'm kind of in that position, even though I worked in the spiritual field and I was working for people. That's not my design. That's some other people's design. Some people don't want to be talking online or you know um, have a public face so to speak. Um, and they're more aligned and they'll be more fulfilled with being an assistant or, doing these certain things. That's just not me. And I've known that, and I didn't follow that intuition, and now here I am in the same pattern as before, and it's progress. Um, looking back at me in Brooklyn, I moved in Brooklyn from that one video. Like I moved to another place, which was way more peaceful, and I was able to save way more money than I would move back home um, until July. Then I moved to Hawaii, and I'm still here. Um, so yeah, um, the people who are not doing what they ultimately want to be doing, who are not like fulfilled, even if they try to tell themselves that, oh, I'm doing what I should be. For me, it was, yeah, I'm helping people spiritually do their spiritual things. It's not. It's still not it. It's closer, but it's at essence, it's the same fucking thing as I was doing in the city. Completely just stressed out of my mind. I was still having fun. But I'm here, not so stressed, but not stressed at all. Um, which is really amazing. Um, but I still having that like unfulfilledness, you know. And if I look at abundance, sorry, let me take a step back to finish my thought on the looking at people who feel the way I do right now, right now. So in 1 year's time, I will create a video and I can link it back, and I guarantee you I will be self-sustained in the financial field. And that's what this pattern is actually linked to. Because in my last video a year ago, I talked about career choices, and that's linked to the environment, right? In my mind, but that's not true. That's why I like want to leave, and then I'll be more financially abundant. It's still not true. It stays the same wherever you go, as long as you're energetically the same, no matter what. Um, so sorry to finalize that the people, including myself, who are not like able to be self-sustained. So if you're like working for someone or in the 9 to 5 or whatever the case may be, if you're not doing something you're completely fulfilled in, it's those people are not financially free. Period. If you're not creating, and I butchered that pretty hard because I got two things mixed up. Sorry, I'm sorry. If you're not creating like your own stuff and giving it to the world for free or not, um, yeah, you're not gonna be financially free. And part of your own creation, you know, I'm talking about like real, like freedom. Like I want to move. I always want to move, like I've been talking. But I want to be able to move. I want to be able to have anyone move and me to just be able to provide for them. And to an extent, I can work for someone and get a ton of money, and it could even be remote. But when I do that work, am I going to be really fulfilled doing it? Not me, not me. So looking at one's own design it's really key to look at what, you know, what is truly aligned with you at a very, very core level. So 1 year ago, I I had that down. I was just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna keep creating and I'll be financially free. And I got lost in the spiritual pursuit. I was just like, wow, look at all that I'm doing. But I didn't do anything on my own. And now here I am, still not doing. I'm like starting to do the things on my own. Like this work is that. So I can feel good about myself right now because I'm doing that work that I'm talking about. And so the running away is actually just like, you know, it's it's not even really running away. You know, it's avoiding something very big. It's avoiding just doing what, for me at least, I should be doing. As soon as I started creating these videos, I made like four. I literally made four videos, and I got into this. I opened up the space. I opened up the universal field, and I got and I expanded so fucking hard into Solvana and all this stuff that got me here today. Wearing the same shirt, mind you, the same shirt as I was in 2 videos ago. Just with 4 videos, because I started to do the things that I knew were in alignment. And when it happens, things open up for you, things expand, and you can, you know, synchronicities happen, and you can, you know, and grow and, further your life. Now, if I had, again, everything's perfect, so I needed to do those things so I could be here today. I hope I'm not doing that. If I had continued to journal or publicly express my journey, which I said I should do, especially at the time that I was doing it, then I would not be, well, obviously, I would not be where I am today, but I wouldn't be in the financial position. So this pattern is a financial, it's linked to abundance. And yeah, I just haven't been aligned with my purpose. I don't know why. I like creating these videos. I like sharing. And it's so easy. I just click the button and now I'm talking to myself. Hopefully the thousands that will be here eventually will come too. And so that's funny. It's funny. So this was free a free run. I didn't have like any flashcards or anything. But in watching myself talk about this and reflecting back, which is another reason, great reason why I encourage everyone to journal in this way, like publicly, so you can look back at what you've created, the world to see. And when you look at it, it opens your eyes to so much. If you have an open mind and open heart for it. So watching myself and really liking what I was creating, even though I was just talking about good points, um, I was like, I just have to create something. These are finished products. These videos. I'm just gonna end stream. It's just gonna be finished product. I'm reading a book, and the pattern of like avoiding doing something and finishing something and like following through with it, like running away, pattern I'm talking about, it's not really running away, shows up immediately at a high rate, but lots of pages. And then I'm like, well, I should write about something else. I write about something else. And that keeps happening. I'm like, I want to write one book to say it all. That should be more important. I should really do this and that. And I'll start writing about it, and then I'll be like, well, you know, what if I have like 9 books? What if I have like 9 books that are really just one book, but I'm splitting it up. This was a thought I actually had like 2 hours ago. And what if, but then what would the first book be? Because the first book has to be perfect. And I started to compare myself to like all these people who have the book, and it's their book, and it's their free book. And I'm sure I'm gonna write a book, but when I start to create, I'm like, it's not that it's not good enough anymore. It's almost as if like it's like I have so much to say and to talk about, and at the same time, I wonder what I could talk about like before going into it, and when I get to it, I just go all over the place. It's not focused, and so that's the biggest lesson for me right now, and that's what I'm going through. Um, it is really focusing on my work in a focused way. You know, um, these videos are pretty good. I think when I have like points of when I have focal points, um, I'll talk about those points, and I just that's a great idea. Maybe that's what I should do for my book. I'm basically just like writing. I'm like free writing a book that doesn't make sense. So it's not for like my design and what I want to do with the book. So it would be good if I, on a flashcard or something, just wrote 9 bullet points, or 37, or 11, on what I'm going to be talking about. And maybe just expand on those bullet points. And when one bullet point is done, I can move on to the next. Now, if I think of other bullet points, which I guarantee you I will, if I think of like another bullet point, I'll just put that to the side and stick to my bullet points and stay focused. I'm just doing Aria. So I'm doing a presentation with hundreds of people, and this recording is going to be like $100. It's amazing. It's amazing how much content is going into this. Like people, if you're familiar with Cryon, Meleha, Cryon's not doing it, but Meleha she's related to Cryon. Silvana, they're, first of all, an author from Silvana, also a content creator from Silvana, a person who is like one of the most advanced consciousness dudes I've ever seen. A person who, and another one, like this one was amazing, like undercover transformational guys on the planet, which more on that at a different time. I'm actually going to his place on Friday, and we are going to maybe drink tequila, maybe play chess, maybe play some music and do some really awesome things. I met him 3 years ago in Hawaii, and I'm magically here, right next to him. Great. And like, I contacted all these people to be on this event, and they're all just like, "Sure, awesome." I was like, "What?" It was so incredible for me, and now I'm like presenting with them. So looking back at just like 1 year ago, and so much has changed. So much has changed. But one thing that hasn't changed is my wealth container and my relationship status, which I talked about too. It's a lot of healing on the relationship thing, and it actually, someone just emailed me about the event with the relationships. There is a girl who's pretty cute, but synchronistically speaking, I need to contact her, and I'll talk. If something happens with that, I will let you know. I'll make it a point to continue these videos because they're really cool and I want them to keep going, you know? Um, I want, I look back like, wow, I really wish I continued doing that. Where was I? Sorry. Dun, 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 dun. So I have all these people on this amazing event coming up, and I'm a presenter, right? And I have no idea what the point of me saying that was. I have no idea. Huh. Anyways, focusing. Oh. So the host, so I'm a co-host for this event, and the host, Maria, helped me to determine and define what I'm going to be talking about, which is the synchronicity of connecting to people. And before that, it was a different thing. Before that, it was a different thing. Before that, it was a different thing. and so when I finalized I was going to create, she said, "Okay, you have your meal. You're gonna eat your meal, and if you don't like it, you're gonna choose a different meal at a different time." Her metaphor was in the buffet of infinite possibilities. She didn't say infinite possibilities, but it may as well be a buffet of infinite possibilities. And and she also didn't say this, although I really felt it. She said, if you just fucking eat one thing, you can then decide whether or not you like it. And that is that. So, don't change what we just pulled, just talk about that one thing, that bullet point. And I have to now create a speech and recording and send it in, and it's gonna be totally awesome. But the whole point of that is, for me right now, And I imagine a lot of people um, who aren't like creating and producing it. They don't have their thing, right? They have so many different things. I see this a lot actually. So many different things to choose from. Chances are, if you choose it, you may want to choose again because it's not going to be perfect. So it might be perfectionism that's coming up. That might be a number of things. The, the point is to pick one thing and stick with it. And that is that. And I am talking to you, the man in the mirror, and to everyone else who needs to hear this message. Have all of these choices. I'll say it again because it's worth saying twice. You have all of these different things that you could talk about or do, and you just don't know what to pick because if you pick this one, then it just might not be good enough, or it might not grant opportunity like the other thing, like option 7.0 or 7.3. Sorry, 7.3 was a good option for you. I know. If you just pick one. Just literally, you have 7 things, but get a random number generator and well, first really make sure those are the 7 that you want. Like distill things down into like a couple things that are really important to you and like really good. Then put them in like a just write them on paper or assign a number to the choices or have a kid decide or your grandma or your dog. If you have a bird, if you have an owl, let the owl decide. Out of your decisions, though. Don't let the owl decide. Choose the decisions and find a way of picking one and commit to yourself to do it. Okay? Do one thing and then decide on whether or not that's the thing. The great part about doing it is something gets done, and you can either realize that it's great, or you can realize you're never doing that again, or you can realize while you're doing it that you can expand on that. A number of things are just going to open up from the act of doing something because it'll create momentum towards why you're doing it. And so for me, why I'm doing it, I'm linking it to giving. To giving. That's something that I have not been doing too much of. I've been receiving. Yeah, receiving a lot, but not really giving. And when my life was most magical, that was all I was focused on. And I was blissed blissed. Like, so happy. All I wanted to do was like take out the garbage for people and like see how I could help. And it's so amazing. It really is. So for me, my focus is on giving. Um, but like it's living in purpose, right? I want to become financially free, so that's where the pain point is. It's just like I can't provide like I want to. I can't have my cousins come to Hawaii. What if something happens in New York and they get fucked with COVID? Not that I'm thinking about that. I'm never ever thinking about that. But just like, what if that happens? I don't have the money. I have the means to make it happen, but I don't have the money to just like go like, you know, not that I need money, but I certainly don't want to be paying like $400 a month to whatever, all my energy, my liveliness is going into something that I don't necessarily want to support. That's not that great of a thing. Um, yeah, yeah. So for me, I want to become financially In order to become financially free, I can do lots of different things, but it's not fulfilling if it's in alignment with my purpose. Now, my purpose, time and time again, I'm redirected to consciousness work. I love awareness and truth and magic and all this stuff. I love having fun too. I love music and I love this and I love this. And that's the trap that I get into. I'm just like, oh, I love all these things. What am I supposed to do? The universe has told me, and I've told myself and shown myself, and I know that part of my path is to help consciously um, to very likely bridge people to different realities, to different people, to beliefs, to new awareness, to transformation. Um, and to do it myself. This is a new way of I don't know thinking of being. It's that isn't publicly there. I'm not saying that like my way of thinking of being is like the next thing. Um, it would be helpful for plenty of people. What I'm saying by it's a new thing is that like there's in the universal puzzle piece of expansion and consciousness. My piece just isn't publicly available, and I'm not, and that's on me because I'm not giving it. you know, I'm not giving it. Um, and as a word of encouragement for everyone who knows like that's their work too, your presence, like who you are, right? Who you really are, your vibrational frequency activates people just by being around people. And so creating ah, creating anything from your heart has that same frequency. And so me just talking here helps. It's it, it's not only like opening up doors in the sense that I'm moving energetically towards like giving and like creating because I'm gonna keep building off this and it's gonna look nice, it's gonna be cool, and it's you know you gotta start from where you are. And so that's why I just hopped on YouTube on my laptop and like I'm gonna record a live video and it's like 49 minutes. I enjoy talking. I enjoy um, giving and sharing my story. And however you do it, really, how if you do it and it's in alignment, it's in alignment with your purpose. However you do it, you're going to enjoy it, and that's a key. That's key. You'll be fulfilled. Basically, I feel plenty fulfilled. There's not one viewer at the moment, but that's not the point. Um, energetically, give it to whatever to something. For me, it's giving myself and my wisdom to the world, um, and ultimately it'll be more defined. Um, I have a website that's Nexus of Ascension. So it's the pinnacle point, it's the center point of all ascension, and I'm gonna bridge it out to like all these different sources. So it's not like I'm the ascension center um, through my wisdom, but I'm like sharing all other wisdom, including my own, so to speak. Um, so I I'm maybe it's just ascension teachings or wisdom, but I know that this is just so aligned, and so it's important to just start doing whatever it is for you, and it will evolve. For me, I started with blogging, like I said, and then audio, then video. And when I'm at video, I'm just like, wow, this is great. I like watching myself, you know? Um, I realize I have so much to say, and that it's entertaining for me to watch and to like analyze myself. And when I'm not saying certain things, and when I am saying certain things, and how I don't say certain things, or how I do say certain things, and how I connect all that too. Is very revealing if you're aware of that kind of pattern. Um, so yeah, that's really incredible. So to sum this up, I'm at a point because this is like a journal sharing. I'm not really going pre-designed for you to hear, but to calculate on my journey. What I need to do, what I think I need to do, is focus on creating one thing. We're sticking to just one thing and just doing it. And if I do it, and my dad, now that I think about it, my dad told me this so many times. I do it, then everything can change. And I personally want everything to change all of the time. But what I'm not seeing is that it always will, you know. So what is that link? What am I not seeing? It's almost as if like I think that by doing one thing that I am therefore defined by that one thing. And that's just a bunch of not trueness. It's just not true. Um, it's so interesting for me to look at myself right now and see, like, you could probably see the darkness of my eyes. I'm very tired. Um, but I can see, like, the peace in my eyes, which I haven't had in a long time. I may not be super fulfilled, like I'm saying I want to be and super financially abundant, but I'm just relaxed. I'm living in Hawaii and I'm totally relaxed. And I'm like worrying about like, oh, what do I do and all this stuff. And like, man, like no matter where you are, let me tell you, from a place of paradise, from no matter where you are, peace and happiness comes from within. It's not a new saying, but it's worth stating again from experience. You know, don't look. Your external environment is a reflection of who you are within. And I encourage you to change your environment to having it be a more supportive space for you. And if you want to manifest like something really badly, then surround yourself with people that are embodying that. for you. Yeah. That's why I moved to Hawaii, actually. I realized that I wasn't, while I was having so much fun, no one was doing what they actually wanted to do. I was just like, so, okay, alright, very good. I gotta get out of here. But I also wasn't doing what I wanted to do, you know? So you can just do that now. Trust me, you can. Trust me, you can. And everything changes. And if it starts to change, keep tapping into like what it is that like that core piece that you know you should be doing. The whole time I knew I should be doing something on my own. The whole time. As soon as I got to Hawaii, the number one thing that I did was become a certified coach. So I'm a certified coach in like 4 domains. I like super hyper laser focus myself. And then after that, guess what happened? I was like, yeah, I don't want to coach. I actually tested it out. I did some free trials and people loved it. People like loved it. I was just like, what? People were so mind blown by my free sessions and that financial, it was free. So I never went into like making it a paid thing. And I never like continued doing it. And that's another thing too, is like once you have something and you do it, you should probably, well, actually, I don't know. I tried coaching and it was pretty good, but I'll probably do some more. Um, but I probably want to charge a lot more. Maybe I'll just have that up on my website. I'll just be like $100 an hour, which is actually probably pretty cheap compared to, um, it is very cheap compared to some of the people I know who give coaching services. And I know I'm actually at a point of wisdom and knowledge that I'm worth more than that. And for me to just coach and just like be like, okay, here's my there's a little block there. That's just like, well, why? Once I get really true with myself, then I can confidently do that. Um, I'm sure coaching will come at a later time, and it'll be fulfilling because it felt draining in a way. Because I didn't have that like that monetary giving back. It was just a receiving in that sense. Um, I was spreading myself too thin. Instead of creating like this, yeah, you know, the and that's probably a topic for another time. Mine, it's almost an hour, and so I'm probably gonna end it very soon. I should probably go to bed. Um, so yeah, I guess I can end it on what I'm gonna focus on. So I have an event. So first, create the talk with bullet points. Then record the talk. Okay, I'm gonna write this down. I'm gonna write this down. And I'm gonna show you what I wrote. Friends. You wanna see a sweet message? I will show you. Well, first of all, check this out. Isn't that cool? I got to meet the artist of this. This is like top fucking art, man. Amazing. So this note slipped out of my pile of flashcards. Um, I think when I was in, I don't know, I think maybe when I was in Hawaii when I got here. Anyways, it was, I don't know the details, but oh, you can't read that. It says, I love you today and always. Chloe. Chloe's my sister. And she's so beautiful and amazing and dun, dun, dun. So I'm gonna write down my to-do list. I like to call them like magic items because like once you do them, it really opens up some space. And if you look at things from different, if you reframe certain things, like to-do lists, and see what it's actually doing, it makes things way more exciting. Like I have a lot. I see I have so much to say. Why am I being so quiet? Because it's late. Okay, what was I gonna say? Right. Going to outline. You can probably end the video because I'm not gonna edit this, so you can probably skip forward unless you want to hear me talk about this. I'm gonna outline my presentation for awakening the mind. That's very important. Next, I'm going to outline my first book. I'm already thinking like, should I make a Maureen book? Should I, changing it from what it already is, which is diamond magic, which is using the symbolism of diamonds to manifest the life of your dreams. That's a pretty good topic, right? So, outline first book. There should be one more thing outside of like doing those things. Outline my presentation. Outline my first book. Okay, I'm already thinking about stuff. Okay, these videos are so good that I'm gonna do them every day. Should I? Should I? Yeah, yeah. Outline my next video. See, I'm already thinking about a podcast. So stupid. Okay. next? Record. Write. Record. Starring Stick to a heartfelt creation. For the outline. So create the outlines, which are going to be bullet points, like centerpieces of stuff that I'm going to present. Don't change it. Present. So record myself talking about it, / write the book about it. But you're also right. Keep stuff that comes up on the side for one, adding onto or into what's being created. I have such a cool story on how I got to do this live chat. It's too late. I'm going to tell it now. But it's really good. Number 2. I'm so sorry for this slow thing. I was really tired. And this is really important. I know. I want to finish it. So keep stuff that comes up on the side. We're adding it onto or into what's being created. So if I have like more ideas, just take it. Make it another bullet point that might get included. Not necessarily. Because if it doesn't, it'll go into number 2, which is other content. I will never run out of content, folks. Apparently. That's crazy. Okay. So number 1 priority, I'll end my next video because that's tomorrow. My presentation. Number 2. Number 3 will be my first book. I have to have a special. Actually, no, I don't. Not anymore. Never mind. I did want content though. Oh boy. Put up coaching potential. To buy and make it worthwhile. Outline. Oh, see, I'm diving so much into what I can do. Alright, fine, I'll put that. Outline. Morning. Esoteric. School. Create this. Edit. About. Section. Create. Website. Form. Have email catcher with double opt-in. Ensure free content is awesome. Create something with outline for purchase as okay. Jeez, lots of stuff this morning. Okay, so here's the cap. I need to focus on my own stuff. Okay, my stuff, me, and it's aligned with consciousness work. When I do that, magic opens up for me. In terms of the missing link of my own financial abundance, it is this. It is creating my own stuff and giving it out and having options for people to buy my creations. That just doesn't exist. So how am I gonna be financially free on automatic without that without without that? um and knowing that it's in alignment within my hand, it's just so clear now. So here's like my action plan, and it's a lot already, but like this is my point. Like I have it, and so I'm gonna make a commitment to doing what I just wrote down, which is a lot, which I'm gonna read right now, and then I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna create an outline for my next video because it's a continuation of this, and this needs to keep off the constant daily stuff needs to just, this is my fuel. This is my fuel for my financial freedom. And it's gonna be fuel for anything. Right now, it's financial freedom. Okay? And let me write that down actually. Because that's what I lose focus on too. I'm just like, oh well, maybe I should focus on something else. Right now, I know I need to be focusing on financial freedom so I can free myself and, you know, get in. And really, it's on alignment. It's 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 not financial freedom. Financial freedom's gonna come out of this. But it's living in alignment with what I should be doing, which just okay. Okay. So living creating, or rather, realizing okay. So I'm realizing financial freedom. When you realize financial freedom, you're really living in alignment, like like fully in alignment and purpose. When you're fully in alignment and purpose, you don't have financial issues. Okay, you're an abundant being. So living in alignment, bullet point, creating and realizing financial freedom. Dot, dot, dot. Okay, so one, and I'll go through this quickly. Thank you for continuing to watch. If you are, outline my next video because this is fuel. This is important. Then create it. Number two, outline my presentation for the Awakening Memorial event that's coming up. That's like my launch, so to speak. Really, this I'm launching right now, but that's my first public thing. And that's like it's pretty cool. And create outline for my first book. Um, book. Okay. Outline for my first book. Meditation. Esoteric scroll. This is going to be free email grab. Content. More free content. Then money. Okay. Stick to heartfelt creation for the outline. So I'll create the outlines for all of this and I'll stick to it. Then keep the stuff that comes up on the side for adding onto it or into it later, or other content to use for maybe a meditation. Put up coaching potential to buy, make it worthwhile. So in terms of money, make it like worth my time. Right now, my hourly rate is 20, which is bullshit. Not my coaching, but like what I'm making when I spend an hour doing stuff is 20. No. Okay. So yeah, we'll just leave it at 99. Ooh, I have a subscription at some point. I'm not gonna write that down, but that's something that's coming up. Okay. Outline esoteric. Yeah. Morning content. Edit about section. Change my website. Create website flow so it looks nice when people come into it. Adding social media. Have an email catcher with a double opt-in. Ensure my free content is awesome for the email. So all of that I've had except for the outline and sticking to it. I've had like that plan, but like now it's like concrete. So here it is. Can't read it close. But there it is. And it's gonna stay there, and this is gonna go on my, we're gonna have a ritual. Gonna make this look nice. And I'm gonna do this. Okay, so here's the content that's important. Just fix my hair. Why I thought it was so important. Oh no, my connection. Okay, so quiet. The reason why I found it to be so important to continue journaling this, publicly expressing my journey, was so that I have content and pieces to go through in the future and link and to like share experientially my wisdom. B, to create what I'm trying to create. So in this case right now, this journey is creating financial freedom. So I have a goal in mind, and so I'm creating with that energy flowing in that direction. And the financial freedom that I'm going towards is living in alignment. It is fulfilled. Creating, realizing financial, fulfilling financial freedom. Okay? Let me write that down. It's important. Fulfilling financial freedom. Okay? So here's my new journey, guys. And this is the key piece. And so I'm going to be expressing this day by day, giving my, even if it's like 2 seconds of it, okay? Not this 1 hour stuff. Day by day, I'm going to share with you what's been happening. And so it'll be in experiencing the journey of another, you can realize what's possible. So I'm telling you right now that if you set a goal and you constantly create with that in mind and it's fulfilled, you'll be able to do it too. So I'm also gonna say that if you want to create fulfilling financial freedom, you may have financial freedom, but is it really fulfilling? You know, you may be wealthy, but do you have that freedom, like true, to do what you want? Are you happy? So I'm gonna say, in following this journey of mine, you will recognize that you can do it too. You will, and it's not intellectual. And I think that's why sharing the story is so important, because it's, you know, you're emotionally getting it, but especially in like this context where you're seeing me and I'm being open and raw as possible. You're feeling my energy, and through my accomplishment of said goal of fulfilling financial freedom, which, let's put a number on it. Let's make it real. Okay. Self, this is for me. This isn't, this is, and or people who know that you are supposed to be creating something yourself. You're the creator. we're all creators, but you are the person giving out content. You have something to say and give the world. You are creating a business and you need help. Then you're resonating with what I'm doing. But you don't have to fit in that description. You could be not working for someone you want to, or an assistant to someone who you don't want to be an assistant to and want to be an assistant for someone else. That can be your goal. So, tap into fulfilling financial freedom and really make it financial freedom, like work for someone who's able to, who you're aligned with, who's able to truly, where you're financially free. Or maybe it's a partnership and you're like, oh, we're gonna be financially free together. Tap into like what's right for you. Don't ever look at one goal and say, that's an awesome goal. I will do that goal. No, my goal is for a lot of people probably who want fulfilling financial freedom um, for working for themselves. And it's a pretty broad, it's a pretty broad goal. And the amounts will differ too. So, pick your amount, but let me tune in to see what the amount is. Pull the calculator. I got 2,700. Wonder how much it is in a year. And this is another thing that you want to stick to. It's the goal. Like get there. And make other goals, but don't hang this goal. So right now I'm making a month. Well, actually, technically, hold on. 1,600 plus 7. Okay. So right now I'm basically making 2,400 a month. The number that came to me was $2,700 a month. So what we're gonna here's a cool trick. So I'm thinking like 2,700 a month. That's about, let's see. Thank you so much if you're watching this whole thing. That's incredible. We're gonna like split these videos up into pieces. Okay, so it's about like 32,000 a year. That's not millionaire status. I want millionaire status. Now that's an egoic thing to say, but alignment I want to be able to provide a lot. However, 2,700 on my own terms is a big upgrade. So, in looking at like the small expansion, I said 1 hour would not be done. In looking at the small expansion of 2,700 a month in my own terms, you can set a time where it's actually not like if I was to say make that tomorrow, the rate of growth is astronomical. That's like billionaire status. That's like a billionaire growth, right? If I can instantly make it happen, then you know. So and this is like well known in goal setting. You want to make it difficult where it's like it's like at that edge, you know. So 27 a month my own terms. By February 7th. I'm just thinking about like the definition of financial freedom for me. Oh, because that's like a loose one, yeah. Maybe I should have a target in the bank. Please, for your own sake, please skip. Please skip watching this. Record the end. Okay. So I'm gonna say 30. Let's say 370,000 in 1 year. Now let's divide that by month, shall we? It's about what I make in a year at the moment. So to basically 12 times. Hold on. 740 was. Oh dear. Yeah, it's about 12 times. So let me just 10x my time. No, let me 11x it. Mm-hmm. Okay. So See, I'm just getting like into like these stupid details. You know, like, oh, should I 11 exit? Should I 10 exit? Should I 12 exit? I like 11 because it's me. So I'm leaving at 11, and 12 exiting would be 370,000, and I like 37 a lot. The timesing it by 11 is like magical, right? So if I'm timesing basically what I'm making now by 11 and putting that into like a sum. So it's like it's moving beyond all expenses. So it's like it's like above this rate. So so my goal, if I do this right, it's gonna work. So I just have to stick to like exactly what I just fucking put down, and I know it'll work. So, and see, this video is gonna be so worth watching if this comes to light. This happens. So 340,560 by Halloween, giving myself an extra 5 days. Oh, I'm giving myself. Oh, it's 4 days. I'm giving myself like 370 days to do this. How cool is that? That's cool. Oh, it is 5 because it's technically the 27th for me, but it's 12:26 a.m. So I'm just gonna. This is 26. Okay, 340,506. Dude, that's so cool. 3, 4, 5, 6. By Halloween. So to 11x my income in 1 year. Not that bad of a goal. And it's so doable. But really, it's like to have that in the bank. In the bank. Okay. Sorry. It's really important to define what the fuck you're doing. So I'm going to every day for 370 days post a live video here while doing other stuff. But this is my fuel of that creation of manifesting $340,560 by Halloween in 2021. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because I mean I don't like the word accountability. I don't like that, but I am in a way holding myself accountable. But I'm publicly giving you know this creational standpoint of saying this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do every day to make it happen, and be open to all of the expansion that happens here. But from the point of like me creating a 1 year goal, I don't like long goals, so it's a little hard that I will achieve so that you can watch it, this journey, and watch it for a year. Watch like maybe you watch this on 27th of April. and then you just start from that. So you start from that day, and you go for a year while doing your own thing. So you gotta create your 1 year plan. But yeah, just never mind what I said. Basically, if you watch the embodiment, like let's say I did this, if I achieved, which I'm going to, $340,560 in 1 year. It's not even that much money, but to me, it's just like, whoa, it's a moment. It's just my content. As I experience it, this journey, energetically speaking, you're going to embody that growth, and this is creating financial abundance. This is like a course in a way. But I'm not going to just be talking about financial abundance within all of these videos. I'm going to be talking about everything I have to say, which is like so much. But right now, it's a journey to get there. When I first started blogging, it was like I'm creating. This is the fuel for me to awaken humanity. And now I'm in a place that I'm like doing that. I'm spiritually helping a lot of people all the time. And so you set the intention with the action behind the fulfillment of the intention, and you'll actualize it. You'll realize the reality of that experience. I recently heard that you don't create anything. Everything's already created. You're just becoming aware of what art is. And so really you're just saying, okay, I want to become aware of this, and this is how I'm going to do it. And if I do it every single day, you're becoming aware that you're becoming aware of the reality that you are choosing. That's pretty cool. So I'm having a major pumpkin synchronicity. That's cool. So this will be my pumpkin journey. PJ. Cool. And next year, I will evaluate what the fuck I just did, and maybe I'll pick another goal. I don't know. 1 year is a lot of time, and it's nothing actually. It's a blip all of existence. It's a blip in wildlife. Well, that was a most eventful journey we just had there, yeah. And so, yeah. So every day, I'm gonna record myself here in alignment with my pumpkin journey, which is part of my purpose, which is for achieving and realizing fulfilling financial freedom, which is $340,000, $560 by Halloween 2021 in the bank account, free of debt. Write that down. Free of debt. Cool. I'm gonna make that like fancy, but right now, that's what I created. And I have all of my next steps on this paper here. I'm gonna do it, and the process is gonna evolve. But the daily action of sharing this journey is gonna be my key piece. It's gonna be the magnet because that's just like it just works for me. It's just like who I am. It's like what I'm supposed to do, and I love doing it. So, um, yeah. And so, if this works, if this dream comes true, if this pumpkin $560 by October 2021 actually happens, then I can say to you, journal your journey every single day in alignment with an intention. And, I'm going for a year. And so if I achieve it beforehand, which is possible, then even more the merrier. And it's more motivation for me to like do another journey because I like to change stuff. So this is like a challenge for me to like stick to this. But I know it's important. I know it's so important. In watching this video, I will be reminded that it's important, Caleb, to stick to this. Okay, so there's going to be intermediate steps of this journey, and I'm not really going to talk about this journey. I mean, I'll reference it, but I'm not going to like talk about the creation of the next steps. They'll happen after this call. And this call, me and the millions of fans that I have. I'm not going to be talking about that at all. I'm going to be talking about uh, all sorts of other stuff. And I'm not going to be like creating like I just did here, where I'm like, oh, let me pause so you can watch me write and not see. That's not. It just needed to happen at the moment because I'm getting download and I'm getting inspiration to do it, and it's very important. And yeah, so once this has been manifested and it's been created and it's been realized, I can then say to everyone with authority that it is so important to have a daily action. And we'll see if it's about sharing your journey. That's part of what I really, really like to do. And by the way, pumpkin is going to be my symbol for this synchronicity, for me to manifest this. It'll be the symbol of the journey. That's why I call it pumpkin journey. It's obviously on Halloween. I have 370 days to do it. It's a lot. So once I get there, once I manifest it, I can then say, look, I recorded a whole journey of becoming, of me getting here. I'm creating the authority, but I'm also stepping in from a place of trust, faith in the process, and going after it. And if I fail, I love that so much. If I stick with it, if I don't stick with it, then I'm not even gonna go there because I'm not even gonna get with the cuts either. Okay, so is there anything else that I need to say? I don't think so, man, but I'm excited. It's been a long time since I've had a concrete goal. I've always created like these yearly goals and whatnot, so I forget about them like the next day. And then I stop creating them. But right now, creating it on camera in public, it's very enlightening, I'd say. So I'm gonna put this down. I'll be back tomorrow and the next day, all the way until next Halloween with 340,560 dollars in the bank or sooner or better or better. And it's gonna be presented. It's gonna be, revealed. There's been a lot about like, oh yeah, you can share your journey, share your transformation, especially if it's like fitness, right? Before and after. So this is the before Caleb of manifesting this money. And in a year, because I'm also coming from a place that was 5 days ago, a year ago, and I was in a totally different field. But I've awakened a lot, like a lot. And now I'm on a trajectory of an immense awakening. And so next year is going to be very, very different. Um, very different. So, bon voyage. This is the pumpkin journey. I am signing off because I have talked enough. And if anyone watches this whole thing, thank you. Thank you very much. You crazy person, you. Alright, let's figure out an end stream. I think it's this end stream button. What are these buttons? I wonder if you can even hear me. I wanted this whole time. Like, I'm not even audible. Just edit. All these things. No video location. Hawaii. Recording date. Cool.